I'm back. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing for me, for Noah, for Steven, and for you. But we're about to find out. What is up, Valley Sickos? It's the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. I am Espo, in case you've forgotten. I got the man, Steven X Me, SPG3. We got Noah behind the Mac with a mustache that makes the ladies swoon. Glad to have Kara, Girth Jr., Leo, King, all in the chat tonight. I am more excited about being here with you guys than I am about Suns basketball. Steven, how are you?
Doing great as always. You got star-studded, Hall of Famer-studded basketball game to speak on tonight, and it should be very entertaining as all of their games this season have been.
Should is doing a lot of work in that sentence with the way this Suns team has been playing. Obviously, they face the Clippers tonight. Kawhi Leonard in, James Harden in, Book and KD going to be out there. As you mentioned, there's a lot of star power, but the difference between these two teams is everybody beyond that star power. It feels like the Clippers have gotten everything that they could ask for most of the season from the others. The Suns have not at times. Obviously, Ty Lue, the polar opposite of Mike Budenholzer. Like the Suns system is the funhouse mirror of Ty Lue. What do you think is the thing that people need to be watching the most tonight?
That's a very loaded question just because of how dynamic a matchup this one is. If I had to pick just one thing, though, I would say look for how aggressive Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are in this one because of the way that the Clippers defend, how many individual defenders they have. Naturally, with Ty Lue on the sideline, they will be cycling through schemes. Can those two find efficiency on their aggression? And does it have an impact on the game past just them putting the ball in the basket?
I think that's fair. Look, it's been a while since I've sat in this seat and nothing's gotten any better than the last time I was here with you, my guy. And I just look at it and I go, okay, this is the last stand tonight, right? If you're going to try to fight your way back into the play-in, and we heard the awful news about Kyrie, and the Dallas Mavericks are basically in shambles, so there very, very well may be a free fall coming for that from that Dallas team. But if you're going to put yourself back in the conversation, you're going to have to start winning games like tonight, because the schedule isn't going to get any easier for you. So I feel like tonight's that stand. What are you, 4.5 back of a play-in spot? You're 5 games under 500. You're at home. If you don't put up a valiant effort and frankly steal one from a good Clippers team, I think you could put the dirt on this team.
Yeah. And that's why I point to the aggression factor from both of those two that we spoke to, because the Suns, believe it or not, crazy enough to even fathom it, have a 3-0 lead in this season series with this Clippers team. Now, Kawhi Leonard's only been available in, I think, 1 of those 3 games that preceded tonight, so that obviously factors into it. But even without him, they were playing that top half of the play-in, completely out of the play-in type of space. So I'm looking forward to just seeing how they kind of approach tonight's game, because to your point, it's very important. And even more to your point, the schedule is unforgiving for them the rest of the way. Next up, they got the Denver Nuggets on the road, the Dallas Mavericks on the road. That should be a gimme, but nothing's a gimme with this team, as we've grown to understand.
And if you win a game like tonight, that Dallas one, or if you win or lose tonight, that Dallas one becomes the ultimate must win in this stretch.
And then after that, they have a matchup in Memphis and then in Houston right after that. And then after that game, they come back home to host the Sacramento Kings. So there's no let up at any point. Even the quote unquote gimme games are naturally a test for this team. So I imagine one of the playing seeds opens up, but there's no guarantee that it's theirs, and they're certainly not entitled to anything right now.
No, I mean, there's a chance Portland hops them for that play-in seed, which is insanity and will bring a whole new level of people losing their mind if DeAndre Ayton and Toumani Camara wind up in the play-in and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal don't. But I don't feel good about this one. I haven't felt good about one in a long time, but I look at this and you look at the way that they continue to find unique ways to lose. And you ask yourself, and somebody in the chat brought this up as well, are they going to find a new crushing way to lose a basketball game that we haven't seen? And I hate to be negative about it, but that's where we are in this season. And Kawhi is so good. James Harden is so good. And Ty Lue teams come out and play with heart and hustle regardless of the situation, which is so polar opposite of what we've seen from this group. And that they have a chip on their shoulder because they've lost 3 to this Suns team who's proven that they're not very good. This feels like the recipe for you might get jack stomped on your own home court on national television.
Yeah, that's one of the separators between the Suns and the Clippers. They play with pride. And that starts with obviously James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. They approach that very differently, but you can feel how that reverbs through the rest of their rotation, even the players that don't play, and the way that they're engaged over the course of games. And I think if we're looking at the Clippers in this window right now, they're as vulnerable as they've been at any point when the Suns have gone against them this season. Tonight specifically, they're 1-5 in their last 6 games, and they're also 20th in offense and 22nd in defense. So they have not been having fun on the court. And they just came off of two games against the Lakers that left a whole lot more to be desired on top of that. So to your point, they're going to come out looking to reestablish themselves after a quick little break. Are the Suns going to be able to repeat their efforts from the first 3 games of the season series?
It's interesting because Suns fans will want this to be a get-right game for the Suns against a Clippers team that's struggled as of late. But Clippers fans are looking at it as that get-right game for the Clippers because of what the Suns have been and what they were in an abysmal February. The Suns had shoot-around this morning, and Tyus Jones got a chance to speak to the media. And I want to start with his thoughts on communication because that's been a big point of discussion lately.
Yeah, I think we probably we probably get along too well to where we don't have enough tough combos. We don't have those difficult conversations when things kind of get in a bad way. But again, I think that's also why we still believe, why we're still confident in what we can do down the stretch, is because of, we don't have any, bad apples in the locker room. Like, we all get along. we got high character guys in there that believe in one another, and we're extremely talented. And we feel like we get clicking and we get on the same page, and we can go on a run.
It hasn't been a secret all season that if they do get clicking and if they do get on the same page, that they can go on a run. But it's been so prolonged in a sustained manner, at least. I can't blame people that don't believe anymore. Like, I genuinely cannot. And the only thing that's holding me back from completely relinquishing that belief is the fact that they have the 2 players at the top of the roster that they do, and that naturally giving them an opportunity to beat anybody in any arena on any given night. There's just so many other factors that continue to outweigh that, though. And that continues to be their main issue. And against the Clippers team that's been playing the way that they have been, this is the perfect storm for the Suns to, unfortunately, repeat the efforts that we've seen in an underwhelming fashion over the last handful of months now.
Yeah, look, I understand why you're hesitant to just kind of say, it's over because of the amount of talent. And I think in a vacuum that makes complete and total sense. But I think the other part of what he said strikes the biggest chord with me. We might be too nice. We might get along too much that we don't want to have the hard conversations. And that's what struck me as the identity and the downfall of this team is you don't have that that edge at all. When you and Durant talked about it and Book talked about it a little after last game. When things get tough, they fold. Nice guys finish last. Now, that's not always true in life, but I think it's true in sports. And I think that might be where we're at is you got a lot of nice guys that have a good amount of talent, but they don't have that edge and that ability to take it to the next level.
And it's for that reason why this was almost 2 months ago now, but when PJ Tucker was on the Clippers, I was saying that should he find his way to the buyout market, he should be someone that the Suns should be looking to fill that void in some capacity. He's not going to play 25, 30 minutes, as we all know now. His defense isn't what it was either, but his presence and his connection with the two best players on the roster naturally lending him to be able to speak to and speak with those two in a way in which other players on the roster right now cannot. But also, in addition to that, him being able to have the respect from everyone else, coming in as a presence that's served that role in a winning fashion. He's won at the highest level with Mike Budenholzer in addition to all of that. I just feel like that was a glue type of piece that they should have been looking to take advantage of. They still can technically, but as of now, their roster's full, so I don't see them really moving anything to add someone else.
Assistant coach, PJ Tucker.
Well, that would be cool.
Bring him in as the FU coach. Come in, and I'm going. My sole job is to put a foot in your ass. Is what he's the coach of.
And it would be any one of his bazillion pairs of Kobe's, as you spoke to.
the man's shoe collection is beyond amazing. Look, you said there's that slim amount of hope because of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Tyus Jones talked about his thoughts on can the Suns make the play-in.
Being on the outside looking into that play-in, does it feel like something that you guys can get done?
It does. It does. We've shown at stretches this year that we can play really high level basketball. We show it at stretches throughout each game. We just haven't put it together for a full 48, in a while, and we just feel like we're leaving so much on the table. But we definitely feel we're still confident. We know what we have in that locker room. We know when we're all together, when we're all clicking, what we're capable of, and so we're still confident in it.
Putting it together for a full 48, how much is this team kind of feeling that urgency with closing it out the season, just 20?
Yeah, like I just said, it's at an all-time high right now. The attention to detail work. The pressure is on, but we did that to ourselves. And again, each game, it's you can't afford to drop, any more games. Honestly, we need all the wins we can get. We got to close this gap. We're trying to, we're fighting for our life right now.
The intensity's never been higher. Give me a break. Like, what you're saying is we backed ourselves into a corner, and if we don't have that, then we're going to start that vacation soon, and I'm hitting that free agency market a hell of a lot faster than I thought I was going to do with a hell of a lot less value.
Yeah, that's it, because if the urgency was where he's saying that it is, they wouldn't have lost that game to Minnesota in their previous game, and they wouldn't have ended the road trip that preceded this home trip the way in which they did. So this is a long list of things that they're saying that they're going against that we're just not seeing in terms of results, but also the efforts on the court for a full 48 minutes.
Look, I think tonight, if they're going to have a chance, they're going to need Ryan Dunn to actually play some minutes and play some defense. He talked about how he stays ready, even though things aren't exactly clear with his role.
Just trying to do the same thing that I did earlier in the year. Just trying to come out and just work hard and, be grateful for whatever minutes I got. Obviously, it's tough, not getting the minutes you want to get or, being able to play as much. But, I'm trying to be a team winner here, a team guy, and if I gotta play as much minutes to help us win, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Is it difficult to kind of maintain that confidence when you're not sure how much time you're going to get?
No, because I put a lot of work into my game. So, I trust myself and I know what my job is on this team. It's not like I'm trying to, I gotta go prove something to coach to get more minutes left. No, it's just how much minutes I gotta come into play, just do what I gotta do the best.
He's been in such a peculiar situation because to earn your way into the main rotation, then earn yourself into a starting role, and then for not for reasons that were because you weren't playing well, have that role taken away from you, and also see your minutes diminish upon the demotion, which again came from nothing that you weren't doing on the court. Like as a rookie, you're still trying to find your way. How do you process all of that and still show up and not be looking over your shoulder or be worried about playing mistake-free basketball, which is not playing on instinct? Like that's impossible of a type of weight to carry as a rookie again, yet alone as a wing defender that's at the most vulnerable position playing defense at the helm. It's tough.
Well, and I'm guessing he's not getting exactly clear answers as to why.
We're not getting clear answers, so I'm sure he's not either.
Yeah, I mean, he probably doesn't understand it, and so you put that on top of you're playing for an offensive-minded coach. All these things become extremely difficult, and it complicates a rookie season that looked very bright there for a month or two, and then kind of puts a damper on it, and not so much with the fans, but I'm sure with him and trying to understand where do I stand in all this with the franchise, and I'm not sure he's going to get any of those answers until we get well into the off season and into next season. But Steven, I'm gonna do something here, and you got to tell me what I'm doing. What's that sound?
We got the ad read coming for the NASCAR event.
That is right. It is a NASCAR. I do impeccable impressions, including NASCARs. And right now, NASCAR is returning to Phoenix Raceway this weekend, the 7th through the 9th. It's the Shriner Children's 500 at Phoenix Raceway. If you have not been out there, you are missing one of the most beautiful venues in all of Phoenix sports. And I'm not saying that just to say it. I actually truly believe it. I got to go out there for the first time ever last year. I know. I've been here my whole life. I slacked off, but I finally got out there last year, and I can't speak highly enough about just the Phoenix Raceway and the Estrella Hills out there. You got to go out there and check it out and witness a live NASCAR battle at 200 miles per hour on that 1 mile oval. I did it in a pace car at 100 miles an hour, and I cannot imagine going twice as fast as that in a race car rather than a souped up Toyota. So I highly recommend you go out there. 40 drivers are going to be competing, including Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, and NASCAR Cup Series champion Joey Logano. It's best-in-class fan experience. The whole family won't forget. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. And, Steven, I got another question for you. What do you need to drive a car? Like, what do you need to start a car?
You need keys.
We need keys, and now I need your keys.
Most cars, you need keys.
I was thinking. I mean, all cars need them. It's whether you stick them in the ignition or not.
Sure.
But now I need your keys for tonight's game.
All right. Well, first of all, we're looking at with the Suns. What's going to be the plan against James Harden? Because he's averaging
score.
He's averaging almost a triple-double against the Suns this season, and that's not something that he's foreign to, but like all elite guards, if you pencil in that they're seeing the Suns in their schedule, they're okay. That's going to be one of my better games of the season because they're not only can they not guard, but they're not playing the one or two players that actually do guard in their rotation.
Yep.
So it's your pick of the litter. Whoever it is that you're matched up with, you can go get you a 25. You want 12 assists with that, you can probably get that too. You want to get to the free throw line, you can probably get that too. What's going to be the plan against James Harden? Are you going to be able to keep?
Did they send him to the strip club in Scottsdale
that's
yesterday?
Always relevant.
That's the best defense,
always relevant.
right?
That is the best defense for James. But I just want to see a plan and them be able to defend to a scheme in some capacity. Not going to take everything off the board. Can you take things away in pockets? Number two, generate and make your threes, the Suns have been pretty much in the driver's seat against the Clippers in that dynamic of the game. That's their main point of dictating to their opponents. Can they do that in a way tonight that's going to give them separation for the inevitable lows that come over the course of a game for them? And then lastly, the tempo on the half court. The Clippers play a lot of lineups that can switch a lot. Zubac is playing all type of different coverages on a near possession basis. Can they stay ahead of that curve and not succumb themselves to all of the defensive nuance from Tyronn Lue?
I think those are all extremely valid, and I think that first one is probably the one that we're not going to get the answer you want on when it comes to it. I actually brought my own key to the game today, though, because, it's been a little while. So, Noah, if you don't mind, it's simple. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go. That's my key to the game, because I don't have a lot of faith that this is going to go in a way that we want to see it. So why don't we take a look at who we're picking in tonight's game, since I talked about it. I'm going a little out of order, but you know what? I'm here, my show tonight, so we're going to do it. I have the Clippers by 45, so I'm feeling extremely optimistic. Steven, where did you net out here?
Because the Clippers have been struggling, I do have them winning, but only by as basically as slim a margin as possible, a one-possession game. Clippers by 3.
Okay. Gerald says Clippers by 6, and that thing that's supposed to look like Eric Ruby says Suns by 7. I still don't know why. I mean, you can cut back to us. No, I still don't know why his picture's like this. Like, like he was, seat back on an airplane. But like that. But it is what it is. Let's take a look at the injury report. Suns pretty clear when it comes to their injury report. Bradley Beal is actually in. Jalen Bridges out because he's with the Valley Suns, as is Ty Washington. And Cody Martin at some point, maybe or maybe not, will actually play with the Suns with that sports hernia. On the other side, Norman Powell out. He's been having a fantastic season. Airplane mode, Derrick Jones Jr. out with that groin strain. And Ben Simmons out because, well, that's what Ben Simmons does. So that is the injury report for tonight's game. Steven, why don't you tell us what the line is from our friends at Bet365 tonight?
The Suns are not favored in this game. Should not be a surprise to anyone. The money line on their side is plus 125, and the spread is plus 3. And then for the Clippers, the road team in this one, and the team that's down 0-3 in the season series with the Suns, are favored by 3 on the spread, and their money line is minus 150.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't touch that plus money, even if you paid me to put the money down tonight on this one. And you know what? Let's take a look at our bets brought to you by our friends at Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365. The pregame picks are here. I will go first. We don't ever need to look at the standings ever again for any of us. Damn, Eric. I have James Harden with 45 or more points tonight at plus 2,500. This would be the first time ever I have bet on the opposite team, on the opposing team in this.
That's a sign of the times then, for sure.
I saw those stats that you had talked about, and I said, James could light him up tonight. Steven, what did you have?
I pressed the small font button for Noah in this one. We got some things going on here. I got Devin Booker, who's been enjoying good games against the Clippers this season, 36.5 PRA. Kevin Durant knocking down 2 or more threes. James Harden at 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Also have him going for a triple-double in this one. I talked about his average against the Suns this season. In tandem with that, Ivica Zubac, another player who's been honestly borderline all NBA this season, and defensively as well. He might not make it because of the center group there, but he's been very good. I have him over 30.5 PRA in this one. Chris Dunn, a spark plug, been starting for them the last 8 games or so. They've been at their best when he's been on the court with them defensively, and I see him getting over 1.5 stocks in this one, also scoring more than 5 points, given he's playing about 30 minutes now. And then lastly, their prize trade deadline acquisition, Bogdan Bogdanovic, someone you know very well. I have him knocking down over 2.5 threes in this one, and he, needless to say, very much fits the description for a player that tends to go off against the Suns this season.
I like it. I think you might actually catch. I'm rooting hard for you because I think I'm dead. I'm dead in the water, so I'm rooting hard for you. By the way, before we get to White Noise's bet, Cody in the chat, DM me on Twitter at Espo. I will get you that shirt, whoever promised it to you. And if it was me, I apologize immensely. Let's take a look at White Noise's bet right now. The man somehow hit a Hail Mary the other night.
Not worried about it.
Zubac double-double, Bull 18.5 PRA, Kevin Durant 1.5 stocks. I want to call him stonks, but I'll say stocks. Bull 0.5 blocks. Devin Booker 2.5 plus made 3-pointers. James Harden 8.5 plus assists tonight at a plus 1,200. So. Yeah, he's got that going for him. I think you got a better chance than his plus 1,200 this evening, and I think I probably have the best chance because it's just one guy having to do one thing.
Yeah, and do one thing that all elite guards have done well against this Suns team this season as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just light up a Suns non-existent defense. Good luck, James. Any final thoughts about tonight's matchup and what the people should be looking for as we've got another nationally televised game?
Nick Richards needs to have a big game. He's been playing in a decent space of late. They've been featuring him a little bit more uniquely on offense. Will they still play to that, or will they kind of revert back to what they were doing prior to this stretch where he's been good? But also defensively, he has to hold up against Zubac because the Suns don't want to switch. We've talked about that ad nauseum at this point. They love to have their centers in there. It can't be Mason Plumlee against James Harden and Kawhi Leonard in pick and roll tonight. Nick Richards has to be effective there.
It can't? I mean,
it can, but is that what's going to get you your fourth win against this Clippers team? I don't think so.
Noah, you got a mic tonight, right?
Yeah.
If I lose tonight in my bet,
Okay.
you're making my picks from now on, just so you know.
Oh, man.
Oh, great.
I mean, it can't get any worse if you see how I'm doing it. So that is our program, the pregame show. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you to our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos for sponsoring us. We will be back here, rain, shine, no matter what happens in this game, even if it is a 45-point blowout by the Clippers like I predicted. We will be here right after the game to talk to you about everything that happened. Have a little fun. Have a little levity because you know what? We got to get through this together. So for Steven, for Noah behind the Mac, I'm Espo. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.